Good morning, everybody. I'm Philip Cochran. I'm the one of the developers of Your Helpful Guide and the Stage 5 lead engagement platform. And I'm thankful that you guys are trying it out, and I really want to help you be successful with it. A little bit about myself. I retired from the Air Force in 2013, flew F-16s and T-38, both as a active or as a operational pilot and an instructor pilot, and then started working for IFPA and homesteaders after I retired. And the obvious question is, what is a fighter pilot doing selling funeral prearrangements? But my answer is God has a sense of humor. So I did not want to go to the airlines. I like wearing a parachute on my back when I fly, and I like being able to bail out of an aircraft that has problems. And they frown upon that in the airlines, so that was not an option for me. And so I decided to do this, but I've done well at it. I'm one of the top producers in homesteaders. Did have a year of producing over 3 million, and I do that in little funeral homes, mainly in Oklahoma. So I do a lot of driving. I drive about 45,000 miles a month. I'm sorry, a year, a month. That'd be bad. And but so I work with a lot of little funeral homes across the state. But that's a little bit of my background. I developed Stage 5 kind of as a reflection of how I do business. And also in my downtime, as I'm driving, I have a lot of time to think. And I'm like, we need some way to move more into the 21st century in the way we market and the way we do pre-need. We still use a lot of outdated tools and methods, and I wanted to see us move a little further ahead. And so this is growing even as we're using it now, as I develop and come up with more ideas and more things that I want to see it do. So it will be constantly improving and gaining more and more power. Just as a way of why call it Stage 5? Stage 5 is actually the highest level of afterburner in the F-16. So the F-16 has 5 levels of afterburner as you move the throttle forward. So Stage 5 is the most power you can get out of the engine. So, and that's what I wanted this platform to do. So the first thing I want to make sure that you got is this email here that gives you access to your dashboard, which is the Stage 5 lead engagement system, the ability to view your app and also download the assets, which the assets being the flyer and QR codes that you're going to use for marketing on your end. You can save it to your desktop, or save the links to your desktop, or bookmark them or favorite them or whatever you want to do. But that's going to help you with that. Just philosophy in the beginning here, I want to talk about. There's two parts to this system. There's the app, which is the forward-facing customer experience that the funeral home is offering to those in the community to show that you're kind of on the forward wave of engagement, that you want to be there for them and give them the tools and the resources they need to be to deal with the days and weeks and months after a loss. In that app, I want to be sure we view it properly, that it is not a marketing tool as much as it is a resource and help to families in need that also has some marketing resources with it. Because I want you to be able to market it. I want you to be able to offer it and encourage families and individuals to download it without feeling like you're just trying to hook them into doing a pre-need sale. One of the things I hated the most in the beginning of this business is the company I worked with in the beginning. Really, all the tools they had, the primary purpose of those tools was just to on the backside have kind of a Trojan horse to get somebody to prearrange. And I hated feeling like I was just being disingenuous in offering those resources to people. So the app is purely there to help somebody through the days and weeks and months following a loss. It's also a tool that can be used to offer on Facebook and other social media platforms and other forms of advertising as an advanced tool to be prepared, because we're all going to lose somebody someday. And we all get those questions, if you've been in the business very long, of, I wish I would know what I needed to do after I lose somebody, or I wish I knew all the steps I needed to take, or there was more to this than I thought there was going to be. And all those questions can be summed up by, well, we have a free app that takes care of that and that offers you that information at your own speed and on your own schedule. And so that's how I want to be sure we view the app. The other side of this system is the Stage 5 lead engagement platform, which is going to take the information that you receive from the app and turn it into marketable, nurturable leads. And the goal, again, is not to have the first time somebody who's doing the pre-arranging reaching out to a family, the first time that they're contacted by the funeral home is, hey, I hope you're doing well. How's it going? Hey, by the way, we offer pre-arrangements. Would you like to come in and pre-arrange? It seems like there's a lot of that in my life, and I got tired of that. And I wanted to develop and build a relationship with them over time, and then casually and gradually move them into almost imperceptibly on their part, a mode where they're willing to entertain the option of pre-arranging, and you've built this relationship with them. The other thing is that one thing I'm noticing in my business as I sell here in Oklahoma is I do about 85% of my appointments with individuals that I have never spoken to in person. I have only texted with them or maybe emailed them. And I schedule 85% of my appointments via text, having never spoken voice to the individual until they come into the funeral home. I find that texts are much less intrusive on somebody's life. They're much less intrusive on my life. I enjoy getting a text a lot more than I enjoy somebody trying to call me on the phone. And so Stage 5 helps to capitalize on that with the ability to easily text individuals and get follow-up created and even schedule appointments over text before ever talking to someone by voice. And it's not a lack of care or of the funeral home. It's not laziness. It's more of the way people want to be engaged today and a way that people feel less intruded upon. So that's the two sides of the system, the app, and then you've got the Stage 5 lead engagement platform. The other thing is that the Stage 5 is not just there for what the app can provide through form inputs and interactions with your families. On the other side of the equation is that I will weekly query my funeral homes for their informant list. And if a family did not download the app in the pre-arrangement or in the arrangement conference, then I will manually input those leads and begin them on the nurturing process. So just because families don't download the app, it doesn't mean they're out of the equation. You're putting those leads in and importing leads from your current system and beginning them on nurturing process without them ever necessarily having to download the app. Okay. So that's philosophy 101 of Stage 5 and your helpful guide. As I said, this email right here will give you the ability to view your dashboard, your app, and your assets. With that, let's look at the app real quick. If I go to right now, I'm looking at your dashboard here on my screen. This is what the Ingram dashboard looks like. If I go down here and just go view public app, that's going to show me what people will get on their phones or on their iPads or devices of any kind. And they can save this out to their home screen or their desktop, and it functions just like an app you would download from the App Store, but we don't place it on the App Store just because of the yearly cost for each funeral home would be kind of unproductive. But it works just like an app. It has checklists that families can access that will keep track of how they progress through their to-do list of things after a loss of a loved one. And these checklists remember where somebody was at. So if they leave the app and come back to it, they don't have to remember what they checked off the last time. It's going to be there for them this time. Most of these have, or all of them, I believe, have drop-down boxes that will give them more information about who needs death certificates and why. Organizations to notify following the loss of a loved one, as well as then more detail on some of those organizations. In the case of like Veterans Benefits, it has important information about DD-214s, downloading VA forms, and links to your local VA office, as well as phone numbers they can access to gain help. Same thing with Social Security, information for finding their local Social Security office as well, and then information on the topics that you see here all and expandable, and some with more, some with less. But and again, if you all see anything on this list that you wish was here that's not, then we are forward thinking, and that please provide that to us, and we'll make those adjustments and get that added if that's something that can be a help to families. So that's the checklist. The next thing is just a grief resource with some basic Q&A about grief, and then a couple of links they can follow for good, helpful grief resources, as well as recommended books by Dr. Jason Troyer that they can look up and order. Then down here, I'm going to skip a couple of these, but we have the View Obituaries, View website, leave a Google review. This View Obituaries is probably the biggest, if I want to use the word hook, which I guess I'm going to use it, the biggest hook in getting someone to download the app in a family conference. If you're meeting with families and you're getting ready to step out of the room and you just take a moment to show them the app and go, hey, by the way, if you will just scan this QR code, and it will give you very quick access to view your loved one's obituary when it comes up online, or to very quickly call us or email us here at Ingram Funeral Home. That's just a fantastic way to just, that in itself will get most families to download the app, just the idea of getting that ability to very quickly access that information. Okay, so those are the passive touch points that are included in the app. The app has 4 active touch points that will help families in the days and months following a loss. One is also going to help your funeral home. It's in the form of a survey where they can very quickly go down and just by a star method input their feedback about how you served, and also type in a personal message if they desire. And then down here at the bottom is a very casual message about planning ahead. Very brief information about it, and then a choice that they can make about when they would like to be contacted. They submit the form, and that goes directly into the stage 5 with an alert that this is an action that needs to be followed up upon for your staff. The other active touch points lie under option 3 here, and take the first step. You have the ability to find out more about planning ahead. And if they access this, it's a generic webinar, a very short portion of a webinar that talks about the advantages of prearranging that they can play within the app, as well as information down here on why prearrange, and then the ability again to fill out a form, select how soon they would like to be contacted, and again that is flagged in stage 5. Not only that, but we have the ability for them to fill out a family information guide. Follows a familiar format, one that I use anyways, and allows them to input their family information, their funeral information, and then again that gets submitted into stage 5. And then finally, a funeral cost estimate. Nothing too fancy here or complicated. They simply check through selecting the different things that apply to them. And by the end of it, the pre-arrangement counselor has enough information to reach out to them with a funeral cost estimate and schedule an appointment to meet to finish up that estimate. And those are the 4 active touch points of the app that engage with people, not in a in-your-face kind of way, but in a very casual kind of way. And in the asset package that gets downloaded, you have QR codes to each of these sections and links to each of these sections in the app, so that if somebody's requesting pre-arrangement information and you want to send them an email or a text, you can very easily plop that link into the text. Or if you want to do some advertising, you can use the QR code to take them directly to this plan ahead section of the app. So a family, an individual doesn't have to download the entire app for your funeral home to gain the benefit of being able to use it as a tool to provide helpful information to families at the time that they need it. Let's switch over. We'll look at the dashboard. Down here in the Agents tab of the dashboard is the ability to set up different agents with different logins so that they can input leads respective to them only, and manage those leads, as well as then a funeral home can assign leads to a particular agent as they come into a general lead funnel. So you have options of agents working individually, as well as the funeral home parsing out leads to agents as necessary. And we'll talk about that more here in just a second. So here we go with the dashboard. Here at the top is a really quick metric about the number of downloads, the leads that are currently entered into the system, and the reviews and any estimates that have come back into the system from the app. Okay. Everything is pretty straightforward. If somebody just plays around with it a little while, probably 85% of it can be figured out just by sitting down and playing around with inputting leads, inputting calendar items, and all that. But we'll step through that here this morning. But it's meant to be very, very simple. I put in this lead for John Doe this morning, but over here at the left, this tab, the dashboard tab, will bring me back to this front screen right here. Inbox will show communications that have gone out. And this is the email I sent me last night just to get that picture to show you this morning. And it can be filtered and searched by subject or content. The calendar tab takes me to a grid view or a list view of my calendar items. In the grid view, you'll see different colors based upon whether it's a meeting, a phone call, a text, or whatever you're supposed to do. So it's color coordinated. And again, it can be filtered by the various types. You can add an item from here and associate it with a lead. But I think the more convenient way is to go into the actual lead itself and add calendar items within that lead. Subscribe will just mean that everything you put on this calendar will then go to your personal iOS or Google calendar, whatever form of calendar you use. So it'll interact between the two. Leads just takes me to all my leads in a mass view that I can page through. And again, I can filter those leads by anything I want. Here's some quick filters, as well as I can add filters based upon a field. I can search in notes, and I can say notes contains whatever I want, and filter it by that. And then I can select all of those leads after I filter so that then I can do a mass text or a mass email. Email templates. The dashboard comes with a number of email templates already created and customized for your funeral home or branded to your funeral home, but you can always add more. And adding a new template is fairly simple. We're actually working on even simplifying this a little bit more, but with AI Compose, it becomes super easy. Then text templates allow you, and again, it comes with those same email templates in a text format with links that people can follow, and the ability to create new text templates that are more defined or more applicable to your need. I have a text template created for one of my funeral homes when somebody shows up to a workshop or doesn't show up to a workshop. I created a text template just to say, hey, thank you for signing up for our workshop. Sorry you couldn't attend, but I'd love to follow up with you at your convenience, blah, blah, blah. And that way, after a workshop, I don't have to retype that text every time. I can just go into those individuals, select the text template I want, and send it out and follow up with people in that manner. If you find yourself typing the same text over and over again to people that you're interacting with, then put it into a template, and it's going to save you time, and it's going to make it a whole lot easier. Drip plans then combine text templates and email templates and calendar items into a nurturing flow based upon a progress that you define. In this case, this is just a predefined default drip aftercare that's more for individuals that have experienced a loss. And you can click edit up here, and it will show you what each of those items is and is going to discuss, and also the days that they're going to go out on. I can change any of these days, and if I change a day before a previous day, it'll reorder that item. Like for instance, if I took this 42 and made it into a 34, it'll move it up there above the survey text. So I can easily reorder how something is happening. I can change what's happening in here by deleting it or editing it, and so on and so forth. And then, so it's very simple to create those drip plans and to create a drip plan for different needs. I have a drip plan that I've created for mailer returns because they don't need to get everything necessarily that this default drip plan has in it. I have a drip plan that I've created for established leads so that my established are not getting the same drip as an aftercare necessarily, and so on and so forth. So create those drip plans that suit your needs. And that's probably one of the first things I would do is examine the email templates, the text templates, add any that are applicable to you, and then start building different drip plans. So as you input leads, you can then assign those leads to an appropriate drip plan. Not to say you have to do that first, but that's one good first step. Workshops is a new feature we've created that allows someone to create a workshop, upload an image, and then you're provided a QR code and a link that individuals can sign up with. So you can use that in social media, you can use that in print advertising, whatever. And as individuals sign up or scan those QR codes, they're automatically entered into the stage 5 and tracked as a workshop attendee. So you can keep track of who's coming and who hasn't shown up at the time of the workshop. The public app, I showed you what that does. The download the flyer, you can very easily download your asset package just by clicking on that, going to your download folder, and then here is the flyer that and the QR codes to go with that flyer that can go around your funeral home. And my philosophy on this is put it everywhere you can possibly think of. Print this out, laminate it, or nicely in a frame, set it around the funeral home in different places. Definitely have it in your arrangement conference rooms and your pre-arrangement rooms, and place it on every printed material you possibly can. I have funeral homes that put this on their they put it on their memorial folders, even on the back of the memorial folders, because people are sitting there bored waiting for the service. And again, if we look at this as a help, not as a marketing tool, then we want to get this in the hands of as many people as we can. And so they scan it, download it, and go from there. The other place to put it would be on your GPLs. Put it in the bags that you hand families after a service. Those types of things. Every possible way you can get this into somebody's hands, in the more possible ways, the better off you'll be. But again, don't rely only on people downloading the app to put them into stage 5. Every week, somebody should be following up and putting the names that are not in the dashboard into the dashboard and placing them on drip plans. Metrics over time will begin to display sales, leads, outreach, and the type, as well as volume of sales based on as somebody closes a sale, it will ask for the volume of that sale, and that'll track over time. Settings allows you to change email, and if you have multiple locations, those can be added in, colors and such. And down here, quick links are the quick links to those asset QR codes and links. Okay, so if I want to send somebody information about pre-planning, I can put the QR code on some sort of printed material, certainly, or I can copy this link and paste it directly into a text or into some other form of communication. So I copied that link, and now here's that link in the form of a text. And I can add my text to that and send it off and be good to go. Okay. And then that's a very quick overview then of this portion. Looking next, adding a lead is simple. I can either add it from the front screen, or I can go to the leads tab over here. Either one will work. Let's just add it here. I'm going to add Jane Smith. If Jane has a spouse name, I can add that. 2 different types, a general lead or an informed, then also the email. The more email addresses you can get, the better it's going to help you in stage 5. You can make a text-only marketing plan so that even if you don't have email addresses, you can still engage with families via text without any difficulty. You go and select the type of follow-up. I can put in the decedent name and their date of death. And then I can assign an aftercare to this, which right now the only one in there that you saw is the default aftercare program. I can assign an agent based on those agents that you guys set up, type in an address and notes, and then add the lead. Okay. So it shows up over here as a recent lead. If I go to my leads tab, both Jane and John will show up over here. I can go to an individual lead just by clicking on or selecting the line that that lead is on. So here's the lead screen itself. I've got Jane Smith with her information. If I want to edit anything about Jane, I can click on the little pencil icon next to her name and edit that information. I can compose an email, call her, text her straight from the dashboard, so I don't have to pick up my phone, find her name in my phone, or type her name into my phone. And then I can edit this decedent information if I need to. Follow up with Jane Smith. I can change this if I want, or I can call her now and put more details in, set an exact time for when I'm going to call her, and set the type as whatever type of appointment it's going to be. And then as I correspond with her, either through email or text, it's going to then log that into the correspondence. So, and then over here is the drip marketing plan that she is on. And as these get sent out, I'll see the date that they're sent out, and this correspondence will show up over here in the correspondence tab. Okay. If I want to type a note, Jane lost her brother. And is interested in pre-arranging in 3 months. Okay, so I add that note. I go up here, I add a calendar item, and I go, I want to call Jane Smith. So it automatically plops that in there for me, or populates that for me. And I can type a little note in there I want, and I go, okay, she was interested in being reached out to in 3 months. So I'm going to put that in, change it to a time of day I want to call her, add that item, and then calling Jane Smith shows up in my calendar item in 3 months. If I go to my calendar, I'll see that I've got 2 follow-ups for her. There we go. And I'll see that I've got a follow-up with Jane Smith tomorrow. And it only populates out about a month at a time, so it's not going to show you 3 months down the road. But you can go to the individual lead and view that and see that, oh, that's right, I'm going to call her on June the 2nd. Okay. Let's say that I just wanted to follow up with her today and send her a quick text. I could go up here, push the text icon. I can type in a custom message. And then I can send that. It'll ask me to log it, which is going to put that into the correspondence tab. And then it will bring up my iOS or whatever texting system you have, and get you to where you can just press the enter button to text that. In probably within the next few weeks, we're going to actually have the texting set up to where we'll do it straight from within stage 5. So sending out mass texts, text-only drip plans will just automatically happen behind the scenes without any agent interaction. And that'll add a small little fee per month for that service, but it will be worth it, trust me. But right now it's set up where you can easily text just off of your own iOS platform. I can also, if I wanted to, just as easily choose one of these. Let's say she called in and she wanted information about, or she wanted to fill out a family information guide. If I log that text, it brings that up and a link that she can use to use that guide. So very easy to work with leads. If I type in a new note now, you'll see that both those text messages logged in the correspondence. If I did something accidentally, I can easily delete that. And if I type in a new note, Jane wants to meet tomorrow. Boom, it automatically logs on top. It logs on top of the previous one. And so you're always up to date with your most recent correspondence or notes. So on this, I can very easily go in here. I can delete any calendar item um, and update that, as well as add correspondence. And really, this will also show any reviews that Jane has submitted or any cost estimates that Jane has submitted. I can attach files to a lead, and that way, if I want to attach a contract or something, I can easily do that. So a lot of flexibility and functionality within this. Let's say that Jane came in and I wanted to mark her as sold, and I can enter the revenue, the amount that that was sold for, and then that will show up as a rearrangement sold. And it'll flag her on the lead screen as sold as well. If they contact you and they don't want to be phone called, or they don't want to be mailed to, or they don't want to be texted to, you can easily select that up there at the top so that you can opt them out of anything. Okay. And yeah, I think that's a lot of the lead information. Let's look at Compose, which I think is a pretty powerful way to make custom emails. You can certainly type in the message and compose the email here if you want. You can very easily go to the various templates over here and include those in an email. But really, one of the most powerful tools is this AI Compose. And if you're HTML smart, you can certainly turn on the HTML button. I don't think many of you will probably do that. But if you go to AI Compose, let's say Jane called and is having difficulty with grief. Just as something as simple as that, I can then click generate, give it a second. A lot fewer seconds than it would take me. And there's an email generated that will provide the grief resources that we have, that PDF file that'll be sent out, and then also a very nice message about contacting us. You can edit this email. There's no videos in there, but there's articles, information on local support groups and such. You can add then your name down here at the bottom, whoever's sending it out. And send, and then that email is going to go out to the email address you have on file for Jane. If I just go off of this, it will get rid of it, so I don't have to worry about it accidentally sending, as well as go back to leads here. Okay, if I don't have an email address in there, then obviously this option will not show up. So that's another good reason to get as many email addresses as you can. And we're going to be adding that AI Compose feature to the texting option, which will give it a lot of power as well. If somebody is entered without an email address, there will be no drip plan that's associated with it. And let's do that once here. So let me go to my test site here. Leads that are entered that don't have an email address, that are not on a drip plan, will be entered over here, so that you can very easily view those and take action on assigning them to a drip plan, so nobody's just hanging out there without any correspondence going to them. You do have the option with any of these of going in and selecting as far as drip plan to opt out. And if you opt someone out of a drip plan, they will not show up then in the orphaned leads box. So there are some people that obviously you're going, I don't need to put them on a drip plan. I never will need to put them on a drip plan. And by opting out, they're taken out of the equation. Okay. But later on, if I get his email address, I can always assign him. Or as I get a text-only drip plan created, I can then assign him to a text-only drip plan as a lead. Okay. I think that covers a vast majority of the lead item. Let's look at creating a text drip plan. If I want to add a text-only drip plan, let's say, I select add and I go, let's go established leads, text only. Okay. Use for leads with no email address or only texting desires. Okay, very easy. I can use the simple format by selecting a number of days that I want the texts to be separated by, or I can use, and that's as simple as setting this, either choosing 3, 7, or 14, or setting the number of days that you want, and then just selecting, okay, I want to send them the app. I want to, send them information about estate planning. I want to send them information about how to have conversations with adult children. And so you can very easily set that up, save it, and then the plan shows up out here as an established drip plan. On the other hand, if I want to, I can go into, and let me make sure I don't click around too quickly here. If I want to edit this, okay, I can go in here. If I select advanced options up here, then I can go in and I go, you know what? After the family conversation one, I want to add a day and I want to go, yeah, 7 days later, I want to text this individual. And I want to text them about, let's say, gauging their interest on pre-arranging. Okay. And I can save that. And then that will be in there as a text that pops up that it's simple as me pressing send on that day. I don't have to copy and paste it or anything. It comes up as an action that I just press send on if I decide that, yep, I do want to send that today. If I want to then add a calendar task where I want to call to see how they're doing, then I can set that up with the number of days offset I want and the time, and then enter that as a calendar item. Okay. And I can, so then again, I can very easily, if I want to change this to the 56th day, it'll pop it there in front of the other items. Okay. Or 72nd day. I just want to change the date a little bit. And I might want to include one on the 65th day that is more of a text about planning ahead. So then I have a planning ahead one right before my gauging interest one. And you can design these any way you want. So again, if you find that the text templates that are in there are adequate for you, then just design a text plan that suits your needs. On the other hand, if you find by looking through the text templates that you're not seeing something in here that really resonates with you, then create a text template that goes along with that. And I did the gauging interest one last night just by, if I could spell, and I can give a short description, sake of time, and then I can go either hi or hello or greetings, whatever you want it to say. This is Phil at Ingram Funeral Home, just by choosing that insert. I'd love to meet with you pre-arranging. What's okay, and then or you can go greetings and put in the first name. Okay, so that then they'll pull the first name from that lead and everything. Save that template, and then there it is as a new template. So it was pretty simple. I can delete that, and there we go. Okay. So working with email templates, text templates, drip plans, and away we go. Workshops is fairly straightforward, I think. I don't think you'll have much trouble with it. Creating a workshop is as easy as giving it a title. Discover the 4 simple steps. Setting a date and time for the workshop. giving a venue location. And if you want to give it a max attendees, great. I don't. I give it a deadline. I schedule this on the 25th, so to order lunch, I need to know on the 24th. Any additional information, whether you want it to be a virtual online event or whether it's going to be in person, I can upload an image and or paste an image URL and then create the workshop. And so there it is. Right now I have 0 registrations. I can um, copy the link to the workshop so that I can paste that into um, uh, marketing media. I can edit the workshop and or delete it, obviously. Registrations, I can view to see who has it signed up yet.
Mm.
And I can get the QR code for
Mm.
um, having on my printed material for using the workshop. So a lot of power there, okay, and a lot of capabilities. So workshops is great. Coming soon, the texting within the app or within the dashboard so that you don't have to text outside in your iOS system. Um, Snail mail so that you can select a certain number of leads and send letters to those leads. And that'll be based on a number of credits to purchase so that if you want to send out 20 letters, you purchase 20 credits and the letters can be sent printed or sent from within the system, actually not even printed but just sent from within the system, so you're not actually printing them on your end. The ability for AI compose in texts, that's very soon coming. And then also very soon coming is going to be a smart tracking method so that as people are engaging with either emails or texts or the system is sensing which is working and it's adjusting the outreach based upon how people are interacting with it. So if people aren't opening email, it switches to text only. If people have opted out of texts, it switches back to letters. If people have opted out of texts and letters, it's every once in a while we'll send out a snail mail, not in an annoying fashion, but just as a means of continuing some sort of follow-up. All of those items are in the works and are coming fairly soon. So it is forward moving or forward thinking because as I come up with new ways to engage in my business, it's getting placed into stage 5. And because I do fairly well, hopefully that'll filter down and help others to do just as well also. So just to summarize, the first step would be to download your flyer, get that printed, get it around the funeral home, get it on as many printed materials as you can, that QR code, and start using it in family conferences to make sure that you're putting it before families. And again, the primary one really great way to get them to download that in the family conference is by using the obituary as a means of interest and saying, hey, very quickly you can go to our obituary and just by clicking on this link. The other thing would be then to start inputting your leads, your current leads, and also importing leads from some other program. If you can export to a CSV file, you can import your leads very easily by selecting the CSV file, uploading that, continue. It analyzes that CSV file to map out the columns. It gives you the ability to look at how it mapped those columns based upon the information that was in that CSV file. You can select a drip plan that you wanted to go to or an agent. And then you can see down here the first 3 rows. There's only 2 leads I have in here. The first 3 rows of leads that are going to be brought in. If I import those leads, it'll then bring them into your dashboard. And then also make sure that the first 3 rows are looking the way you want them to look, and then import, and you're good to go. Okay. And these show as imports, which is nice. So I know they came from another source, and then I can go in and adjust these. I can adjust the drip plan to whatever I want. I can adjust the day to start it, or I can remove them from the drip plan altogether. Okay, and so that's a great way. So get the QR, get the flyer printed out, get the leads input, check on the text templates and the email templates to make sure you have what you would like. And then just start using this to actually input leads as people call in over the phone or they walk in the door. My cell phone number is 580-747-8161. If you find anything amiss with the Stage 5 or the app, please don't hesitate to text me. We'll get it taken care of very quickly. We're kind of in a rollout period here where we are making some adjustments and some improvements. And so that's why the price is reduced here in a few months. The price is going to go up, but while we're in this rollout period, we're kind of making sure we've got everything flowing the way we want it to flow. So if you see anything amiss, don't hesitate to text me, and if I can get it taken care of, I certainly will. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate
Thanks,
it very
man.
much. We will look forward to seeing how you guys do with it and great things. Okay. Thanks. Bye.